your run to the Super Bowl, you've been part of runs before from wild card road game weekend opportunities. Is this, you're a perfect guy to ask this question to, the most wide open playoff field that you could remember, perhaps even from your coaching days, where truly anybody can go on wild card weekend, win on the road, and go on a run to the Super Bowl right now?
I don't think there's any question about that, Rich. I think if you look, and since this format of 14 teams now instead of 12, and now we have 7 seeds that are in there, and this is the third year of that, I look at those 2 7 seeds, the Green Bay Packers going to the Chicago Bears. I'm telling you, that's a divisional game. I think Green Bay Packers are going to go in there healthy. I know Matt LaFleur rested his guys last week. The Bears, maybe not playing their best those last couple of weeks. They can still run the football. I give them a chance big time to go into Chicago and win that. And for the Chargers, Justin Herbert, you can say what you want. They lost those 3 tackles early in the season. Mm-hmm. It's been kind of a makeshift offensive line. But the time clock in Justin Herbert's head, I think, has sped up down through the years. So he's gotten used to maybe throwing the ball quicker than he wants to, and then maybe having to evade. This is the best defense he's had going into a football game in terms of the playoffs. And so it's time for him to do it. But you're also going against the New England Patriots, maybe one of the most balanced football teams. You talk about the AFC side of the ball.
Yeah, and the 6 seeds are the Bills in the AFC and the Niners in the NFC. The 5 seeds are the Rams in the NFC and the Texans, who have the longest winning streak in the National Football League going into the playoffs. I mean, seriously, everybody's got to have their heads on a swivel this week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any question that it is wide open from 1 to 7. I think you can even talk about the fact that Seattle and Denver, they're right there with the rest of those guys. There's been no separation. I think you got a group of teams in there. They're slotted in certain places, and I think that's what makes the playoffs great, particularly this round, Rich. I always said, you get to the playoffs and it's 0-0. All you got to do is win 3 games if you got the bye, 4 games if you don't get the bye. And whether you play on the road or you play at home, to me, it's just you got to beat everybody anyway. And that's why I liked even what Nick Sirianni did this past week. I could have got a 2nd seed. I don't care, but he put health over matchups. And I think that's the way you have to do going into the playoffs. Go as healthy as you can, and then play over. You have to slay every dragon along the way. And if you have to beat them all, because to me, there's only one champion. There's 31 other teams that are vying for that position.
Put a pin in that for a second, because I do want to revisit that what you just said about Sirianni. But in what we're in the vein of what we're talking about here, the bye week, it's great for rest. It's great for health. And it's great because you don't have to win 4 playoff games to win it all. You have to win 3. So you're a step closer to the ultimate prize. But this week, again, the bye week may be most important because you avoid the fray of this weekend where anybody can win. There's just no question about that.
But you also, the other thing that the bye week, you lose is momentum. I mean, there's one thing, because you lose that game, you lose a bye week, but if you have the momentum going in, that's why I go back and to say the one thing I always looked at every year, and this was the Commanders a year ago, and it's been the Philadelphia Eagles this year. Sometimes a 3-game losing streak, which we experienced the year we won our championship. We were 7-2, went to 7-5, had to win our last 4 to get in, and then went on the road 3 times and won the championship. We won 8 straight games. I saw that with the Commanders a year ago. They went to the championship game. I see that with the Eagles this year. That 3-game loss they had the last 2 weeks in November and the first week of December, I think that depth have made them a better football team. They had to do some serious soul searching. So sometimes the depths of despair can reach the heights of hope. I just think sometimes you have to go really low to get really high. And that's how I looked upon our run that we had in 2005. And I see that kind of the same parallels where the Eagles are. And they've been there before. No one's talking about them. I think the running game's coming back. Yes, those questions are going to exist on the offensive side of the ball, but that is a very, very special defense. And again, they are still the defending champs.
Well, then let's remove that pin because, didn't Sirianni, in a way, stunt his own momentum by not playing guys in the last week of the season where I understand health is important, and it is the fans who game the system in their heads about we'd rather play this team rather than that team. But the 2 seed means if you win your wild card game, you get another one at home. The 3 seed doesn't guarantee that, Bill.
No, and it doesn't. Whether you play at home or on the road, though, I want the healthiest team I can have going in. And I think to be able to give a guy like Jalen Carter, you give Lane Keith another chance to rest a little bit, Saquon a chance to step back. Same thing with Jalen. So I am all in on the fact that if you don't, we had to win our week 17. I would have rested my guys too, but we had to win to get into the playoffs. They didn't have to. They were in the playoffs, and so he took it and said, you know what? I'm going to take this as my bye week, and now all I got to do is win 4 games. Yeah, I got 1 at home, and I got maybe 2 on the road, and I'm going to the Super Bowl. So he wanted to make sure they're as healthy as they can be. I totally am all in on what he did in terms of, like, don't worry about the seeding. You're going to have to beat everybody anyway. I don't care who it is and where it's at. It doesn't matter. If you're going to win a championship, it's about who you're playing and thus being healthy as you can, not where you're playing.
Bill Cowher, Pro Football Hall of Famer, and NFL Today on CBS, right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.